Lurch, I feel bad.
Why is that?
Well, here's the deal. I want you to know I had the utmost like consideration in mind. I know that's rare for me, so I know that you already think that's a joke, but it's true. I got a beer out of the fridge before the podcast. I almost came out of my mouth. I was out there. I was going to yell, "Do you want a beer?" Well, then I remembered that, and I get it. There's nothing wrong with that you're trying to, kind of be dry during the week and just for health, we all want to be healthy. So I totally respect your decision. And I literally, out of consideration, did not yell at you for a beer because I was like, that's going to promote. It's been a hell of a day.
It's been a day.
And that was going to promote, feeling like you had to have one. So I came in here. I've actually been drinking it for over 5 minutes while we've been chatting.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had it and I've been drinking, sipping on it. I'm surprised you didn't say anything. I was like, wow.
I didn't notice until
he's holding strong. I was even I was like, good for him. He's going dry podcast. And so with that said, I didn't want to be responsible for breaking your chains, so to speak. And so that's why I didn't. I actually normally would get you a beer and I felt bad even drinking it in front of you, but it's been such a hellacious day, which you guys are going to find out about here, that I had to have a beer. And I try generally to try to not, that's just a normal thing for me. But I'm not saying all the time that I don't drink during the week. But yes, I generally try to not do that, a beer with every dinner during the week for sure. Cause I do like a beer and a lot of times I just have one, but with dinner, but I even try not to, do that. I just have water or something like that. So I was being considerate.
Well, I appreciate that. But so I broke my rule here. I grabbed a beer because I saw yours and looked so good. And my mouth was a little dry anyways, and we're getting on the mics. I needed something to wet my whistle, so I grabbed one. It is what it is. I appreciate you being considerate, but the fact that you just have one in front of me is enough to make me want to have one.
Right, dude. I was trying to find a paper bag to hide it in a paper bag and just be over here the whole time in a paper bag, dude. What you drink? Nothing. Just a Sprite, bro. Yeah, it's been a hell of a day, and we got a lot to talk about. All right, so if you guys want to support us, obviously, the economy, has taken a shite, so to speak. But anyways, we're getting by, but we've definitely felt the crunch of the economy as we just had a conversation with a vendor and in the motorcycle industry. And it was a conversation about the crunch. People are not spending as much, especially on luxury items. So what I'm saying is you're already shopping on Amazon and you're going to shop there anyways. And one of the biggest ways, I wouldn't say the biggest ways, but one very positive way, and it definitely helps us. If you're going to go to Amazon anyways and spend money, well, this doesn't cost you anything extra to do what I'm about to tell you to do. It's an affiliate link. So if you just go to lawabidingbiker.com / and then type in Amazon, lawabidingbiker.com / Amazon. Once you get that, hold there. Then hit your little bookmark button and name it and say Amazon Lab for Law Abiding Biker. Whatever you want to name it, Help Lab. Anyways, now that affiliate page is bookmarked. And so every time from then on, you go through that link to Amazon, no matter what you're shopping for, it doesn't have to be motorcycle, anything on Amazon, you purchase and put in your cart, we're getting a kickback for that. It's small, but it adds up. And if all of our large audience would do that, we actually wouldn't be feeling anything. It's amazing and that's just the way it goes. Certain amount of people take action. And so all of you have done that over the years. We do see it. We do appreciate it. And again, just bookmark that and call it, Help Lab or make it a funny name, make it Losers or I don't know. I don't know. Name it what you want. Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwings named Gold Strike. I like gold. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and cover products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com /store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Great tool. You guys haven't heard about it. We came across it a little over a year ago. It is a staple in our toolbox. In fact, we were doing a video on an Indian motorcycle pursuit the other day, and we needed the Vam pliers, and we had them, and they are awesome, guys. If you don't know what Vam pliers are, it is just like vampire, but pliers, Vam pliers. That's what they are. Remove stripped, rusted, corroded, and damaged jam screws, bolts, nuts, and more. Extract screws with unique heads, torques, one-way, and security screws. Wire cutter and cable wire twisting made easy. The most universal pair is the 6 1/4 inch version, and recommended right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. I didn't know much about them. Saw them on a front counter at a store, and I was like, that's legit. And I've always I know Lurch wants to totally trash me because I am the tool whore, so to speak. When I see shiny stuff at front counters where we go, I got a flashlight that way. We use the hell out of that flashlight, by the way. And yes, we do. You're using it all the time.
Just because we use these tools doesn't change the fact that you have a problem.
That's true. Fair enough.
Ooh, shiny.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to justify it. At least a couple of the items that I got is we use. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But vampires, guys, they are actually really awesome, and I've never seen them before until a year ago, and I would not have them in my toolbox now because they have served us well. If you want to get them and support us, you want to check them out. Again, the 6 1/4 inch version is the most common one, but there's larger and smaller. But head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Vam pliers. That's lawabidingbiker.com/Vam pliers, all one word, just like it sounds. And I'm going to hit it to make sure it's working. And Lurch will make sure and put that in the show notes there. It takes you to the page, and it's got all the different sizes, but you can obviously get the one we recommend or others, but they're not a gimmick at all. They are legit, and they will grip things that you do not think they will grip, and save you a lot of time extracting different, rusted bolts and heads and things like that. So with that said, we got us one of these.
I got mail.
Oh,
yay. I got mail. Yay.
This email is from Bill Howell. He had asked us a question, and he even donated. We appreciate that because it takes time to sometimes research and respond. So donations are greatly appreciated.
God, this Guinness out of the bottle tastes freaking good.
Yeah, that's got the little nitro ball in it. So
this
you get
doesn't. The bottles
head.
don't have the nitro ball. The cans do, but the bottles don't. But the bottles taste better.
Oh,
bottles always taste better to me.
To you, yeah. I don't care. I'm good with the can. Whatever.
I don't like aluminum in my liver.
It's just easier to squash the can, throw it in the garbage. Just bottles take up too much room.
I think it tastes worse though. It tastes so much fresher in a bottle. It's colder.
If you say so.
It tingles when you put it on your lips.
Whatever.
That's what she said.
Whatever. Anywho, so Bill Howell said, Ryan, thanks for your video on the Indian Pursuit. Great review. I've been considering that bike as an alternative to a 2023 Road Glide Limited since I read Harley has some significant oil circulation issues, sumping, with the 114. I know they made an oil pump change in late 2019, early 2020. I currently have a 2015 Road King, and I'm considering trading. I have zero problems with the Road King and don't want to get into problems with a bike that has inherent issues. In your opinion, do you think Harley has worked out the bug? Do you think Harley has worked out the bug? Jeez, I can't talk today. The bugs on the 114 for the 2023 models. Do you know any other watch outs I should consider on the 2023 Road Glide Limited? Thank you for any help you can give. And here is your answer. You said, Harley had issues with oil sumping in the 2017 and 2019 models. It appears that the oil pump change in 2020 solved the issue for most, if not all, motors. And we know it hasn't fixed it for all of them, but most, if not all. You have you said I have a 2014 Street Glide Special, and Lurch has a 2015 Road Glide Special. The M8 was just not enough for us to upgrade yet. It's hard to beat the 103 high output twin cam motors.
Hey man,
we're both hoping for variable valve timing VVT in the glides this year. So this is great for this podcast.
That was me, by the way. That wasn't even a sound effect. That was just me.
That might be enough to get us to upgrade. As far as the 2023 Road Glide Limited, we're not aware of any specific things to look out for. Hope this information helps and make your decision to stay with what you have or to upgrade. Many riders like us are in the same boat right now, meaning do we upgrade or not?
Okay. Well, that's what this episode is all about because we are fresh off the launch, and we'll be talking more about that, the Harley launch. Speaking of, just yesterday, my days are mixed up, or when did we do it with Bob? How many days ago was that?
I didn't do anything with Bob. You may have done it with Bob,
You
but
did
I
stuff with him today too.
It was 2 days ago.
That was
Monday.
on the phone. Was that phone sex? I don't know.
I guess.
When was it?
Monday.
So tell about that. With that episode's coming out. If you're a patron member, you already have it in the back end of your patron accounts because you get podcasts early. It is an in-depth episode. Everything about oil sumping. Bob went through it. How he was out of his bike for several months. What he learned. And kind of how it was eventually fixed, and whether it was a warranty or a recall. That is a very, very detailed episode. Again, it is in the back end of your patron accounts for all you members. And if you're just a public, you're going to get it sometime down the road. We don't even know what episode number it is.
Yeah.
No, you do? No, you don't. Okay.
But I'll tell you this. We did a very in-depth issue on the oil sumping when it first was coming around. That's LAB-358, episode 250. But this is a great episode with Bob because it's not theoretical, or we're not, we're hearing it from a guy himself of what he went through. So great episode.
Yep. So check that out. And thanks for the email. lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he got a hold of us. You can leave an email or a voicemail right over there from a computer or your phone. Super easy. Love to hear your voices. We love the feedback. We love the questions. Oh yeah, once you've used Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Want to ride longer, Lurch?
Yeah.
Tired of a sore and achy ass?
You know it.
Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Lurch has been working the store, and I know he's been shipping a lot of butt buffers.
Just sent one out yesterday.
Nice. All right, guys, here we are. Wait till you guys hear about the day we've had. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here and listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We have one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
There you go. We haven't done it in a while, so I feel like we need to do it. Wow.
Ooh.
Plus,
I'm a little lightheaded.
I was going to say, dude. Plus, I got to take a couple drinks of my Guinness while you're doing that. More than one sip because it kept going on. And I think I drank half the bottle while you were doing that, actually. But
good. I'm here to help, buddy.
So we've got an awesome episode for you guys. As usual, we are fresh off the 2024 Harley-Davidson full model lineup release. Now, I did a prediction video like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That video blew up tons of views. Appreciate all you viewing it over on YouTube. That was predictions. Well, today was the actual launch event. We got a lot more information, still lacking some information, which we now have. Anyways, so here's how our day went before we get started. So this is going to be easy to talk about, and here's why. So a lot of times we have some upfront information. Be honest with you guys, this launch event, we had nothing. So we were in the blind just like you guys. We could only see what was online. I wasn't under an NDA. I had no information sifted to me, so to speak. So we did as much research. There was a lot of leaks, especially the week before launch event. A lot of the stuff was out there, which was unfortunate. Anyways, so with that said, we did the best we could. And so we're going to get a little more, I'm getting ahead of myself is what I'm saying. So we had what we had leading up to it. This morning, it was a full day. We were here 7:30 in the studio here, Pacific time, 8:00 a.m., 10 Central, but we were 8. So 8 a.m., we had our laptops fired up. We've been planning for this. We watched the virtual event together, me and Lurch. And then right after that, we set up cameras, we set up lighting, we set up everything we needed. And me and Lurch sat on our laptops in front of the camera, all mic'd up and everything. And we had thoughts and our reactions. And so we shot that video. It was like 54 minutes of footage, cut that down to like 15 once the video, there's a lot of dead space in it too. But we shot that. These are time sensitive videos and just the way the algorithms work. And plus we want to get good information out to you because there's so much bad information out there. We saw some other videos and we're just like, oh my God. So we got that shot. I put it in edit, scrambled, got it all edited. We reviewed it. We both gave the fist bump, thumbs up, rendered it. uploaded it to YouTube along with thumbnail art, in description. Bam, fired it off. Then it's time to promote it. You got to go to our email list and all our social media platforms. Then I made a short so I could put a short up on the different platforms. Instagram, if you guys make sure you're over there following us at Law Abiding Biker over on Instagram, doing a lot of stuff over there, blowing up. And then we were on the phone with a vendor and we were talking, and I'll tell you why at the end of this episode, but I was in touch with a Harley rep because I'm going somewhere, but we'll get to that. And just everything in between. We did get a lunch, but here we are now. It is at this time 5 p.m. We've been going since 7:30 a.m. and we're just sitting down to record the podcast on that exact thing. A little bit more depth, long form here, like we always say, to maybe break down things a little bit more. And we learned something new that was incorrect in our video because we just lacked information. We were trying to push so hard and we just didn't have the info. So yes, we do make mistakes and we're willing to say that and we're going to correct it. It's not huge, but it is something we want you to know about. And we did pin it to the top of the video too, so that you know that correction has been made on Road Glide and Street Glide, but we'll get to that. So anyways, we want to mention a new free video. We're always putting those out. So Lurch.
This one is called, Is This Really the Best Harley Suspension? And this video is about the Wilbur suspension we got available in our store, linked to in the show notes. Not only do we talk about Wilburs, but we talk about others that we reviewed, Progressive and Nolene's. So check out that video if you're looking for a new suspension for your Harley-Davidson.
It'll be in the show notes. Lurch will put it there, and in any podcast app you're listening to, below the podcast or wherever it's hidden, the show notes, but also lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is. And don't forget, if you're a paying patron member, mid-level or above, this episode is recorded. You're going to get it within days in the back end of your Patreon account. So always check over there for limited exclusive content that you get early. And for everybody else, you'll be, this one actually is going to go out. It's time sensitive. So this is actually going out within the next couple of days. So scratch that. But most of the time you get it much, much early, 99.9% of the time. Also, yes, we did the video. Listen to the podcast. It's in depth. But if you want to see me and Lurch and joking around a little bit and having a casual conversation about our reactions to this, you can watch it in video format. It's about 15 minutes. We'd appreciate you going over, giving it a thumbs up, like it. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. We appreciate it over there on YouTube. Get involved in the comments. It's blowing up over there with people making comments on our video. We do it in a different style, we feel, than everybody else. So we appreciate you coming to our channel and viewing it in the way that we explain things. So yeah, we love our sponsors, but these folks are also a direct result, and we consider them sponsors. Why we're coming to you after 11 years. These are some of our newest patron members that we want to thank.
We'd like to thank John Picos of Winterport, Maine, Vic Taylor of Lee's Summit, Missouri, and David Hill of Battle Mountain, Nevada. He is top tier.
lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. That's Patreon. Basically, you pledge a certain amount per piece of content that we release. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap so you don't go over your budget. We understand that, definitely. There are a plethora of benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone, nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. It is the best motorcycle forum over there. There's no dumb questions. There's experts in there ready to jump on it and help you with information or any problems you may be having. Access to podcasts early, like I said, access to live video broadcasts and chat. You top tier members get our premium videos upon request, and of course, access to the ride, meetup, and events. And we definitely appreciate each and every patron member and those right now that are listening, considering signing up. You will not be disappointed. It is a awesome biker community we've developed, and the community is developed over there. So yeah. All right. With that said, this is going to be a pretty succinct episode because we're tired and we need to get dinner too. And we're very versed on this because we've been dealing with it all day. So we're kind of going to go down and tell you, here's the deal. Lurch, I think he can agree. Harley's a big company. What do big companies all do? They think they have to do these overproduced, fluffy videos. It's all about the shot. It's not about information. It leaves the whole audience and I still to this day don't know why big companies do it, but I appreciate Harley that they do, because then we can do a video and clean it all up and talk in real biker talk, like what guys actually want to know. And that's the way we connect with our community. So Harley, keep making your, God knows what they spend on those videos. And they're literally informationless, if that's a word. They just lack anything of substantive value except some cool shots.
And I think but from an advertising standpoint, there is something to that. I mean, if you watch a lot of the Apple stuff, it's very similar to that in that they're selling you not necessarily the specifications and what it does. They're selling you that phone. You need this phone in your life. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So when they do this, in fact, I saw a comment from one of our Patron members, Brad Johnston. He talked about the first section of this video where Mike Wolf was in there and they're talking about the touring part. And he says that part spoke to me. So they put these things out to speak to people to show what they would be joining, what the vision is, and all that kind of stuff. And we get to then
not about how good the bike is, but the lifestyle.
Right. You're selling a lifestyle, right?
Right.
So I get it, but I appreciate that they do it that way because then, like you said, now we get to get down into the
another guy said, I don't give a shit that Mike Wolf was on there with his wife. Remember that comment?
Sure. Yeah.
No, point well taken. I will say, with that said, brings up conversation. I had this conversation with Lurch off mic. Guys, and I know it's not Aquaman. Here's the deal. I don't, to this day, they're still doing it. And they did it in this launch video. I am not talking bad about Mike Wolf. What does he do? The picker thing and sell shit and buy shit. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I've seen him on the
very
Home and Garden channel or some crap.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's a motorcyclist. He's a bicyclist. He's into old bicycles. He's into old motorcycles.
I get it.
He's niche. It's kind of a niche thing.
Is
he's
he
really
traveling
into the 30s
4,000 miles in 10 days cross country like us?
In a van going to pick.
Correct. Thank you. Right, yeah. Thank you. My point being.
I don't know. And here's what I'll say is when they first used Momo, I thought, what the hell's Aquaman on there? And I still agree with that. But since then, I've learned a little more about the guy and realized he is into motorcycles and he really likes motorcycle culture. And so does Wolf. So
he does, but nobody cares. In this day and age, we used to.
Right.
In the 80s, we used to look up to those. Now, you've got YouTube, you've got people that like, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. It's different for everybody.
And that's my point.
There are people
I would say the comments we get is 90% do not like it. They wish that Harley wouldn't do it, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I would say
people are not a fan.
Study and not, it's hard to say, right? So, but anyways, at least they're using people that are into motorcycles.
Yes.
Whether they influence you or not, that's another story.
Right. So and I would be curious, just leave your comments. We get a lot of them on the episode or whatever, guys, but I'm just telling you over time, here's the deal. I think I speak to most people out there. You don't give two craps what's his name again?
Mike Wolf.
Mike Wolf and his daughter, we found out.
His daughter.
Are on there. And that's nothing off his back. What he does he's good at. It's just, I don't think in this day and age, it speaks to people. And we even got some comments, but if it speaks to you, cool. I'm not dogging you. I think it's a waste of time. Half of the people don't even know who he is. And I know there were some others in there too. I don't know who any of the others are, and maybe you do. And I'm sorry if I don't. And again, I'm not talking bad about those people. It's part of the overproduced, fluffy video, but your point well taken, Lurch, on, they're trying to sell you a shiny new object and tug your emotion strings rather than your common sense strings.
Yeah. I mean, they
right?
They can do that part later. They can do that part later. They're trying to create a buzz. They're trying to, tell a story. And that's why you get the rider and he tells a little story and they show him riding through the road and, taking walks through the forest and, all the kind of stuff that they do in the different videos.
Honestly,
depending on the model of the bike, they're selling you a vision. They're selling you a lifestyle. And so I get it. But
I may have vomited in my mouth a little bit, but when they were doing that, it was a little weird, corny, I guess, a little bit, but whatever.
It was fine. It didn't bother me one way or the other.
I was like, get to the bikes. Lurch was over here, settle down. I'm just like, get to the damn bikes.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just what I'm mostly getting at, guys, you've heard me say this in the past, and it's a different day and age. Those tactics I tend to think worked a long time ago, but now we have social media and we've got large YouTube channels. And I don't think a lot of people are going to him to see if they want to buy a touring bike. to tour long distance. I'm pretty sure they're coming to channels like ours and other channels that
sure,
actually tour, and they tour, and they're regular guys. But anyways, again, no skin off any of those folks' back. I'm just impatient, and I'm like, get to the meat and potatoes. So, all right, so fluffed up video, that's great. But Harley did a great job with it. I mean, they are beautiful cinematic shots. There's a lot of production value. As a filmmaker, I get it. There's a lot of work that goes in. They've got a great media team. And again, like Lurch said, that's going to be certainly an opinion-based thing on whether you like that or whether you would just rather dumb it down a little bit. But anyways, with that said, we're going to go over all the bikes and we're going to break down for you guys what you actually need to know. Like I said, without the fluff, without the glory shots, just as a consumer, if you're like at the point where you're like, I want to upgrade, should I upgrade? What may be coming, what was actually put out, what do these bikes have on them that should interest me? That is what we're here for. And so with that said, let's just dive right in.
Yeah, we're not going to hit every tiny little, specification on the bike, but we'll hit the big stuff.
Yep. We're not going to go over every paint variation. No. That's not what this is about. You can go to the website for that. This is what you need to know right now, big things, that what changed and what big things didn't change that we think should have changed or we were hoping that changed. And again, I'll be referring back to some of my predictions and Lurch's predictions on the podcast we did previously. And we were right on some, and some I think are still pending, but we were wrong on a few too, which we'll tell you about. So here we go. What do we want to start with, Lurch? Why don't you just start with this road and street glide and everything in between with that and the model lineup and see where we go from there.
Yeah, my prediction was that they were going. So let me back up a little bit. Last year and for several years we had Road Glide standards, if you will, but we had a Road Glide, Street Glide, and then you had a Road Glide Special and a Street Glide Special. So when I say standards, I meant the non-specials. And there were some significant differences between those. Some little bit of suspension. There was definitely the infotainment and color choices and whatnot. They stood apart. But then last year, they introduced the STs, and then you got the CVOs, and there's just so many damn versions of a Street Glide and a Road Glide. So my prediction was they were going to cut what I refer to as the standard models of the Road Glide and the Street Glide. And essentially, I was right, although they didn't drop. What they did is they dropped the special names. Now in 2024, there's just the Road Glides and the Street Glides. There's no There's no entry level standard model, if you will, and a special model. So I feel like I was somewhat correct on that. But looking at the Road Glides and the Street Glides,
I give it to you, bro. I give you a fist bump on video.
Because when we did record that one, not long ago, I thought this is crazy. It's far out there, but I think they're gonna axe it. Now we'll see what comes out the rest of the year, right? This is just the January release. We probably got icons to look at, some enthusiasts. I don't know if that's going to change anything though, as far as any of the different trim models for the glides, but we will see. But what we have is a Street Glide and the Road Glide, and it's kind of somewhere in between the special and the standard. I say it leans towards the special because these bikes, first of all, our predictions were correct that they are coming with the new fairing and bag designs. And with that, we also figured if they're going to update the fairings, they're probably going to come with a new Skyline OS, the operating system, which they are. But they don't have some of the things the specials had. Like now they've got a flat matte dash panel, whereas the specials in previous years had a high gloss black finish. But I say that they definitely lean towards the special, and I think you would agree, because they're coming with the 117 Milwaukee 8 motor, non-VVT. They're coming with... And
we'll talk more about this,
Yeah. They're coming with the Skyline OS. They're coming with all the rider enhancements on them. So there's, before the standards didn't have as many of those rider enhancements and the specials did. So I would say this bike definitely leans, the Road Glide and Street Glide leans towards the special model. The pricing though, in the past, the standard, if you will, the non-special models of the Road Glide and Street Glide ran around $22,000. And yes, you can change wheels and colors and all that, different trims and change the price, but I'm just talking about base price here. The base price on those were $22,000, with the specials being $28,000. The 2024 Road Glide and Street Glide are at $26,000. So they're not quite in the middle. They're more towards the upper end, but definitely cheaper than the specials were last year. And they're coming with all the rider enhancements.
Yeah, so kudos to Harley for that. And so yeah, basically you're getting a special model, and you know, we checked, they're coming with all the rider safety enhancements. They're coming with ABS. It's all stock. It's not a bunch of add-on stuff. Of course, you can jack the price up with paint and trim, but you could always do that. We got a couple comments on the video.
Yeah.
That's nothing new. You can always jack prices. That's base price.
Yeah. And so if you want to go with the blacked out trim option, you're looking at $1,300 to do that. And some of the paint options are anywhere from $600 to $850. But like you said, that's always been something in the past where you can upgrade trim and paint, and it costs you a little bit extra to get some of the different colors.
Yep. So predictions, Lurch was right. They're dumbing down the line. You're going to see more of that as we go on here in the podcast. Definitely dumbing down the line a little bit, streamlining it. So in a nutshell, what's new about your new 424 Road and Street Glide? So the biggest things, like you said, you're getting the brand new redesigned fairing that we saw on the 2023 CVOs that came out last season. You're getting the complete new infotainment system. It's a completely digital electronic dash operated by what they call Skyline OS. So with that fairing, of course, like you said, comes the bags. You get the new, redesigned bags in the rear, and you're getting that 117 Milwaukee 8 motor. Now, he mentioned it. That was something we were watching the launch event, and we both looked at each other. That's not VVT. The reason we say that is they released the 121 cubic inch VVT Milwaukee 8 on the 2023 CVOs. So we predicted that VVT technology would come on the new Road Glide and Street Glide. Well, it's not. Interestingly enough, the VVT is amazing. I got to ride it on the CVOs. It's unbelievable the way the power band feels different. Obviously, they're more economical too, but it's just an awesome feel. It's so smooth. With that said, we've done a little bit of research. We didn't put that. We're getting more deep in here because this is long form. That particular 117 motor. This one is just. I'm getting ahead of myself. We were going to talk. Never mind. Okay. It is just the 117, water cooled though.
Yes.
And they have the reservoir cap over to the left side by the down tube on the left side where you can fill. So very much just like we saw on the CVO, however, not VVT. So I'll be curious to see how those run and how they feel. Of course, it's going to feel very similar. It's the Milwaukee 8, 117 again, coming on both of those bikes. So this is one thing we want to make a correction on. And we went ahead and said in our video, we had very limited information. We were scouring. I had no pre-information on this. So we were scouring. We couldn't find anything readily available, like in your face, that the suspension was new.
On the Road Glide and Street Glide.
Yes. Yeah. Since then, we were educated on it, and we did a little bit more digging. It's not easy to find, but it is factual. So I'll go ahead and let Lurch tell you what's different about the Road Glide and Street Glide suspension on 24s.
So the suspension has been upgraded. We'll see, when you get down to test ride these bikes, what they really feel like. But the rear shocks are a 3-inch dual outboard emulsion shock with preload adjustability, whatever that means. So
the rear?
Yeah, so you got dual.
They've always had preload adjustability. That's how you click them and set them for your weight.
I guess that's not what I meant.
Right. Okay.
What I meant is dual. I don't know what dual outboard emulsion is. Emulsion, but I tried to look it up and I couldn't get an answer. But it looks like it's going to be a bigger rear shock, and it's going to have dual outboard emulsion.
Hang on.
Emulsion. That's a hard word to say. And the front shocks are 49 millimeter still, but they have dual bending valves, and they've been retuned to match the rear suspension. So it sounds like an upgrade to me. I just, unfortunately, there's not a lot of information out on them other than the title of them. So I can't get too deep into specs or how much better they are.
They're
we
new.
Just don't know yet, but they are new.
Upgraded.
New.
We can
upgraded.
say that.
Yes.
Dual emulsion. What?
They're dual outboard emulsion shocks.
Outboard. What is it? A boat?
And not to be confused with shocks with external reservoirs. These don't have the external reservoirs like the ST does. We'll talk about that later. But it's definitely, it sounds like from what we've been told, it's a better shock than.
Dual outboard emulsion shocks typically refers to a type of suspension system used in vehicles, particularly in off-road high-performance application. Let's break down the term. Dual, this indicates that there are two shocks, typically one for each wheel or axle. Dual shocks are often employed to enhance stability and control, especially challenging terrain. Outboard. This suggests that the shocks are mounted on the outer side of the vehicle chassis or frame, away from the center. Placing shocks outboard can provide better responsiveness to changes in terrain. Emulsion shocks are a type of shock absorber that uses an emulsion of oil and gas to dampen vibration and impacts. The emulsion is created within the shock body and helps maintain consistent performance under varying conditions. In summary, then I'll let you. In summary, dual outboard emulsion shocks describe a suspension setup with two shock absorbers mounted on the outer sides of the vehicle that use an emulsion of oil and gas for dampening purposes. This configuration is often chosen for its ability to improve stability, control, and handling in demanding driving conditions.
So that helps me out. When I was trying to think of the shock, I'm thinking, what's dual outboard
Right.
part of the shock? Because I looked up the shocks and they look like normal shocks.
Right.
But here's the difference.
That's one of the things we didn't notice either.
You can't see them from, you can't see them when they're doing the launch. But so in the past, they've had a shock on one side that really doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any adjustability.
Yeah, right.
Right. So now you've got shocks on both sides now that are emulsion. So you got a mix of gas and oil. But both shocks are working now instead of, if you know, the older bikes. Do
they both adjust on both sides?
That
I wonder if they just have,
I'm assuming. Yeah, because one of the downsides of the old suspension was really
you sat one side.
You sat one side, and the other side essentially was a dummy shock. There was no adjustment in it.
Right.
It still was a spring. It had fluid, but it was not adjustable. So my guess is that these are they're emulsion shocks. So you got oil and gas, but it sounds like they're a little bit bigger around. They're 3-inch, and they're adjustable. I'm guessing they're both adjustable, so you're going to get a better ride out of them.
Yep. Okay.
We'll see how they end up being in the
exactly.
long run.
And if you guys, we're just going to say it up front here because we're going to visit it a lot. There's going to be a lot of questions when we're in here. And as you can see, we have a lot of questions. I am very blessed. And right now, next week, Harley-Davidson is sending me to Vegas. And I'm going to get to test ride and review. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the episode, but I am going to get a test ride and review the Road Glide, the Street Glide, and we're going to talk about it in a minute in the new Street Road Glide CVO ST. We're going to break that down, but I get to test all three bikes. I'm going to be around reps. I'm going to get asked a lot of questions. I'm going to get a lot of video. Of course, it's all coming to the YouTube channel. You better believe that. But next week, it'll be late January, first part of February, and then I'll drop my video after I get it together. But you know me, I am going to, our channel, I feel, is just a little bit different than a lot of the channels. And not talking bad about any of them. There's just a lot of gawking. And although I'm very excited about Harleys and I love Harley-Davidson, I mean, I own 3 of them and my police bike is a Harley. So clearly I'm in. I don't necessarily pander all that much. I am appreciative of going down there, but you guys know me. You'll get a fair and honest review. And I'm going to tell you what's good and what's bad. And I'm actually going to break it down and, talk about things that you're not going to see other places and other channels. I'm just very thorough. And although, yes, I love new bikes, I'm not just there to gawk. I want to break it down and make it understandable to you guys. Like, these are big purchases. And, I feel like my job is to give you guys the information and not over or undersell it, and then let you guys make an educated decision on what you want to do. So, I'm not just going to be drooling over it. I literally want to put bikes to the test, as you guys can see on this channel. So we'll talk a little bit more about the end of my trip, but
And we'll see how tall they are. Just looking at the picture of the bikes, the Road Glide and the Street Glide for 2024, they appear to have a 13-inch rear shock, which would make sense. The specials had the 12-inch in past years, but with the ST and the CVO ST, King of the Baggers bikes, we're definitely seeing that a 13-inch rear shock and leveling that bike out helps performance.
A little more lean angle too.
Yeah, you get better lean angle, but it also gets the ass end of the bike up and puts a little more weight on the front.
That's what she said.
You go into corners, it handles so much better. I noticed a big difference once I switched mine from a 12 to a 13-inch rear shock and get that ass end up a little bit. It tracks better through the corners and goes into corners better.
Yep.
That appears to be what this is in 2024, 13-inch rear.
Okay. So on the Road Street Glide 13-inch rear,
I believe so.
We've got some copious notes and stuff we need to make before I go down there. But we're going to ask a lot of questions down there. I'm going to bring all that to my video. So if you're left hanging on this episode, don't worry. Get over to the YouTube channel, and I'll be doing a follow-up podcast on my trip, of course, and once I get to ride them, I'll be coming back on this podcast for you guys and giving you my full opinions and information, bringing information back with me. So look forward to that episode and that video. All right. That's pretty much it that I can tell at this point with the information we have on the Road Glide and Street Glide. But the one thing definitely, I think these bikes are great, amazing. As far as the variable valve timing on the 117, that's not a deal breaker, guys. I think it's an amazing bike that you would be extremely happy with. That new digital dash and the fairings, and I wouldn't let that stop you from buying one, is what I'm saying. I haven't ridden them yet. I haven't tested them, but so take that with a grain of salt at this point. But they're great looking bikes and super sexy, and I think you'd be happy with it. With that said, here's the deal. So I'm rocking a 2014 Street Glide Special. Lurch is rocking a 2015 Road Glide Special. Now, we're the kind of guys that obviously keep our bikes for a long time. We've talked about this in the past. There has to be substantial changes to the platform before we're willing, because ours are still running great and we love them. Now, here's the deal. I made predictions and it has, we're on the fence, me and Lurch. We've been talking about this for the past year. Ever since I went with the CVO and they made the fairing changes, me and Lurch have had this conversation a dozen times. The conversation is, are you going to upgrade? Well, if it has this and it has this and it has this and all this kind of stuff. So here's where we're at. Lurch can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but
I go back and forth constantly.
It had the fairing. We got that.
Right.
Bam. New digital dash infotainment. Bam. New bags. Bam. 117 water cooled. Bam. No VVT, not bam.
I know.
So I know that's such a small thing, but this is a personal thing. I just feel like that was the one thing. If it had that, it would be very hard for me not to pull the trigger. But what I will tell you is I'm okay with it, because I believe, for me personally, again, I wouldn't let it stop you folks, okay? For me personally, I can see that that's going to go on the 25 bikes. I believe that. And so in 25, I'll be a little bit more ready, hopefully. And then it will get the VVT and probably, maybe a little bit bigger motor. Who knows by then? But even if it's a 117, they just add VVT. Then I have to say I'm pretty much all in on finally upgrading my 14 to that. But I'm okay waiting on it because I love my 14. It would be really hard for me right now if that would have had that one extra thing. I would be like, Lurch, hold me back because I'm ready to do it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't want it to stop you guys, because the VVT is nice, but that 117 Milwaukee 8 and that bike is going to be freaking amazing. I'm just being very nitpicky here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really hoping it was on there. If I was really serious about getting one this year, it probably wouldn't stop me, like you said. But everybody's got personal finances in life that happens, and sometimes you're ready, sometimes you're not. Next year, I'll be ready. So next year, if the VVT is not on it, I still may pull the trigger. Right. Because it's just timing for me. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're ready to buy one this year, I wouldn't let the lack of the VVT stop you. It's still going to be a great bike. Yep.
And a lot of people, saying I'm not for it or against it, but a lot of people say, oh, well, I wouldn't get the VVT. I'd get this one because VVT's only been out since last year and it's not tried and tested on the M8 yet. So there's that argument too. You might be safer. I don't know, because they haven't, not that I've heard, have had any problems with the VVT motors on the CVOs, but they've been in the wild a very short time.
And it is one more piece of machinery or technology that can go wrong, right? So I see that side of it as well.
Yep. So we just want to give you all the information. You guys make the decision on that. So hopefully those are some things to chew on, so to speak. Let's do this real quick, Lurch.
Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Serial 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Serial 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, or grinding for an easy job of installation. No welding required.
Thank you.
That equals less time installing and more time riding. Serial 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. Serial and Goldstrike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@03d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Gold Wing motorcycle. Better yet, help support us and head on over to Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
There you go. So let's dive right into the other big bang at the virtual event. Now, I had made this prediction, and so this is Lurch got one. I was wrong on the VVT, so I was wrong there, and he was right on streamlining. I was right on getting the new fairings and the new infotainment system. I was right on this too, and so I had predicted. I went to King of the Baggers preseason. They sent me down there spring of last year in Arizona. It was really cool to hang with the factory team riders and see behind the scenes. I came out of that experience really like stoked on King of the Baggers, and we both followed it all last year. King of the Baggers is blowing up. And so when I did that video after preseason, I threw that out on YouTube, but I did some deep thinking. And on that video, you hear me say that I truly believe, and I've said it multiple times since, that as big as King of the Baggers is, Harley and as, you know, the performance bagger scene, I truly believe like Harley would be foolish if they weren't working on some sort of bike touring that was very, very much King of the Baggers inspired, and more so than like just the ST we saw. And what I say about that is I'm like, this bike needs to have, you know, more lean angle, lighter performance parts, blah, 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 you name it. We'll break it down a little bit more. But something that literally a novice could, you know, or an amateur could ride. And then if you want to get into King of the Baggers racing, you could go out on the track with it, and it's kind of going to serve street but it's performance to be on the track. And so my prediction pretty much came true. It was a different name than I thought, and it wasn't quite as much as I thought, and we'll break that down. But first, let's start, Lurch, with what this new CVO Road Glide, there is no Street Glide version of this. Road Glide is what they use in King of the Baggers, so that makes sense to me. Not when they first started King of the Baggers, they were using Street Glides, but they do specifically use the Road Glide. So let's first talk about what this does come with that makes it so great, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I wished it would have came with.
Well, this, it's first of all, it is interesting. It is definitely a King of the Baggers inspired bike, and I suppose calling it the King of the Bagger, maybe that sounds weird. So they use some terminology they already had, and they call it the CVO Road Glide ST. It seems a little more ST than CVO, but I get it.
Yeah.
What it does come with is they've lightened it up a little bit with some crushed carbon fiber. They got a crushed carbon fiber front end, and then they got a little, I don't know, seat pan. The seat pan's lighter, so, and then the exhaust tips are crushed carbon. So you got some crushed
behind
carbon
the seat.
effects.
They've got some accents, right?
Yeah, that's the seat pan itself.
The seat pan. Sorry, you said that. Yeah,
it's crushed carbon. Then they've got the 121 VVT in it, or not the non VVT, excuse me.
Yes,
motor, and so I'm not sure. It does. I don't have all the specs on it, but it does have more horsepower, more torque. So I'm assuming it's got different cam in it than the CVO with the 121 VVT.
Okay, so let's just say that.
Yeah, we kind of went from Road Glide right to this. So
we did, and so yes, so basically, it's coming with the 117. We don't have the specs.
121.
The CVO Road Glide. You said it wrong. I thought it was the 121.
Yeah, the 121.
So it's coming with the same exact motor. We'll
okay.
Talk. I'm trying to make this sense. So the ST, our King of the Baggers bike, is coming with the same 121 minus the VVT.
Correct.
However, what we've learned,
this has more horsepower and torque, which would mean we don't have all the specifications. Believe it has cam.
We do believe
cam, and it has a different intake too. It's got the 90-degree high flow intake and cammed and Screaming Eagle exhaust. So I
cannot wait to ride this thing in Vegas, guys. They're going to take us around the track. We're going to be out on the track with Kyle Wyman, factory rider, and James Rispoli. If you didn't know, he's new to the factory team, but he's not new to King of the Baggers because he was with Vance and Hines, and Harley picked him up and stole him at the end of the season last year. So he's a great rider. Well, Kyle's a kicking rider, and so is James. So I am so excited about 24 season. Interestingly, this inspired ST clearly inspired because Kyle Wyman and James Raspolia are going to be telling us all about it. It comes with a ride mode that was designed in cooperation with Kyle Wyman, the way he likes a bike to respond and feel. And so you can put it on, and we're going to get to experience that. And this bike, is track ready, so to speak. Ish. And we have to assume it's going to have a cam, like you say. It'll be interesting. It's an interesting concept.
It's got upgraded Brembo brakes on it. It's got inverted front forks. It's got the upgraded rear suspension with the
external
canisters. And so definitely race inspired with some of the performance stuff that's on it, along with some of the trim. But for me, it misses the mark a little bit. If they're going to do a King of the Baggers bike, I would like to see something more aggressive. And I think you would too, and you'll kind of get into what you would like to see in it. But it's a neat bike. For me, it's just not quite King of the Bagger to me.
Yep,
it's King
it's headed that
inspired.
way.
They're working their way that direction.
Yes.
Yeah,
and they did with the ST, the original ST.
Yeah.
And now this is next level. I have to believe at some point they're just going to go all in, which is what I was predicting. So my prediction was kind of right, but. Mm-hmm. Here's what I would have liked to see. Not that this is a bad bike, dude. People are already drooling over this thing. Yeah. I'm drooling over. I want it. I can't justify it at the price tag, just for the kind of riding I do.
Right. But I need to see one in person because, to be honest, the crushed carbon fiber fender and C-pan look like shit to me.
Yeah, see, I like it because it makes it look like a race bike.
Yeah,
not so polished.
Well, then
the rest is polished.
Then the rest is polished. That's what I'm saying. It needs to be less CVO.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's a weird.
If you're going to go rustic or more track bike, make it just a full track bike.
Yes,
fuck looks.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's a weird combination.
I get it. Yeah,
I would like them to see. They've got CVOs, so it doesn't need to be CVO.
Good point.
Just make it an ST or make it King of the Baggers, but get the CVOs. I don't see a lot of CVO on this, to be honest with you, other than some of the paint, and maybe the highlights on the motor,
shocks upgraded.
It's just a weird combination of the two.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. Yeah,
no,
just make it
looks cool.
Yeah, it does still look cool.
I'd love to have it. I'd love to ride it.
Make it a race bike.
Yeah.
Forget the looks and just make it look all carbon fiber-ish and racer and just like it's gonna just throw you off the back when you ride it.
Because you have the upgraded CVO already. You've got a bike with the 121 with the VVT, with all the bells and whistles and the trim and all that, So go out, just go balls out and make it a race bike.
Yep.
That's street legal, barely street
I agree.
legal.
So some more things I would like to see on it. Number one, do what Lurch just said. But while you're at it, give us some more lean angle.
Yeah.
So we did look the Road Glide and Street Glide specials of last year, which I think these ones are the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're basically
the CVOs.
CVOs.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're basically looking at just the Road Glide and Street Glide this year, 24.
Or same as what?
Because we looked up last year's Road Glide special and CV lean angle.
Oh, lean angles. Yes.
Same.
Yep.
So the Road Glide and Street Glide this year have 1 degree less. So they're their standard. This CVO model ST has 1 more degree lean angle on each side. We're not going to get into exactly what those are, but so that's not a lot.
And in my opinion, it's probably coming from the little bit smaller floor pans, letting you go a little bit farther over there.
Yes. So what I would have liked to see is, and I said this in my prediction, I want them to go all out. And so just do the race bike, but also give us mid controls, bring the pegs up, maybe readjust a seat up so that like they do with the King of the Baggers bike, not to a point where you can't touch the ground like those guys can't. Yeah. You don't have to go that extreme, but let me just tell you, I'm an aggressive rider and train a lot. And that extra lean angle is not a bunch. You're still going to be able to really easily frame this bike out if you're pushing it, even on the street. And if you're on the track where you can really push it, you're just only going to be able to take this bike over so far. So it kind of is like I thought, but it's not. I just wish they would push that part of it a little bit more and really make it for the amateur novice out on the track where we don't have to worry as much about framing out. But there's a lot of things that need to change there. You're talking wheels, tires, mid controls, seat. I get it, but that's what I would have liked to see. And that maybe that's just selfish. Maybe that's not something that would sell to the public. I don't know. But that's what I would have liked to see. And then Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they probably have to change up the exhaust a little bit, and maybe the bag's a little higher. But
and you talk about the motor. You think it should just, if you're going to do it, this is part of it, right? Go big or go home.
I do. I think keep pushing it the king of the bagger direction. Put a 131 or that 135 crate motor in it. I mean, do it if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
I think this is it's a beautiful. First of all, it's a beautiful bike. I don't know that it'd be for me personally, just for what I want to do, because I would. The CVO's got too many bells and whistles. I don't need all that crap. I do like the bigger motor stuff that comes in them, but I'm not willing to pay the price
right
for those shiny bits in the paint. So for me, the Road Glide Street Glides, I'd rather have that and then make it for me. So if I was going to get something like this, if I was going to get a King of the Baggers bike, I need the much more aggressive, basically amateur racer level bike before I would get it over just a regular Road Glide.
Yep.
It's not, for me, it's a great start. It's a beautiful bike. I think if you get one, you're going to be happy and you're lucky to have it. But I would want something more.
Yep. And we're not marketers as far as Harley goes. We're marketers in our own for our business, but it's our personal wants. Maybe that makes no sense from a marketing standpoint, and they maybe they wouldn't sell those. They're trying to play. I get what they're playing. They're playing. This is race inspired because it's got Kyle Wyman's ride mode on it, and it does have emulsion or a external canister shocks and inverted forks and, all those things that kind of make people feel like they're going to race, but then it's not really a worthy bike to go out and race. So maybe our vision is completely counter intuitive to what they would sell. So we're here. Yeah. We can say whatever we want.
Exactly. These are just the opinions of two idiots. Exactly, so take them for what they're worth,
Yeah, totally. It's an interesting bike. I like it. Comes in a couple different colors and it's beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, it's all the stuff that we're talking about is up on the website. And I definitely say you need one of these on it because you definitely, if you get a bike that nice, you're going to want to ride longer. And Lurch, you're definitely going to have to treat your ass with some respect already.
Treat that ass.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. I'm waiting for you. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike those gel pads, Lurch, that will leak if punctured. We don't like leakage.
Show ass leak.
That was a good one. I got to use that one. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easy cleans, and helps to dampen them gall-darn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they'll assure you'll have a comfortable ass in riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
I will say, looking at the CVO STs, the black versus the white, and they have fancy colors, but essentially black and white. The black bike with the crushed carbon fiber, it looks pretty good because it's a dark color.
Right.
On the white, it just kind of sticks out. So maybe it's just a visual thing.
See, I'd almost do the white just because I want people to know that it's the race inspired. Yeah, that's just the kind of guy I am. You want to blend in, I want to stand out.
Something I noticed too is look like the shift linkages are upgraded on the CVO ST.
Okay.
It's got linkages with Heim joints in it versus the pressed on balls.
Mm-hmm. Probably watched our Kiriakin shift linkage video. Oh, it's not out yet. It'll be out soon, guys. Yeah. It'll be out soon.
But we got them in the store. So
we got them in the store. Yes.
And it
after you watch my video, you'll want to do it.
It appears like the CVO's got the upgraded as well. So I can tell you, just looking at the pictures of the Road Glide and the Street Glide, they have the stock shift linkage on them. So if you got,
because Oscar's CVO's is 21 does not.
Yeah.
Does it? Mm-mm. But now they're at least upgrading that component a little bit. So
if you buy a 24 Road Glide or Street Glide, we got you covered with an upgraded shift linkage so that thing doesn't break and leave you stranded.
Yep. Full video coming out on why, and there is a little bit of scarcity on them, but we've got a bunch in stock, and just be looking for that on the YouTube channel. It is coming out real soon. All right, moving on. Other big announcement, and so I made a prediction, and I'm still hoping. Didn't come true at the launch, and I actually said that. I said maybe not the launch event, but later in the year. They did put out a new CVO Pan America Adventure bike, and they have a regular standard or a special model. No more standard. We'll break this down, Pan America. But with that said, I was saying my hope is they're going to come out with a middleweight, something in the lightweight to heavyweight market or lightweight to middleweight market that's blowing up in the adventure market. I think they could nail it with a Pan America. that was smaller, lighter. So I'm hoping that will still come out. I'm hoping that prediction will come to fruition. With that said, here's what we have released at the launch event. Lurch, why don't you break this down a little bit for us?
We've got a CVO Pan America. Let me see if I can pull it up on my computer here. But essentially, they had a standard and they had a special, and now the standard is no longer available. They just
so kind of like the roadie in this, right? It's up there just...
So if they left,
they're not standard. They're just left the special off of it. It's really weird this year.
It was really strange. So bear with me as I'm going through this thing. But so you have the Pan America Special and then the CVO Pan America. And the more I dig into it, it appears that the 2024 Pan America Special ain't so special. It appears to be basically the standard of the time, because if you buy it, it's starting at $20,000. It does not come with the adaptive ride height or the laced wheels. And that was something it looks like in our research has that changed last couple of years, because when you went down to Sturgis and tried the Pan America Special, that one had the adaptive ride height, whereas the standard didn't. So
that's correct.
It almost seems to me, to a certain degree, that the special is now the standard and the CVO is now the special. But
this is all just
right.
But
you can buy the Pan America Special, and you can add the laced wheels if you want. A lot of people like those because there's something you can adjust them, and they're less likely to break on the trail. You break a cast wheel, you're kind of screwed on the trail. And you can add the adaptive ride height. So you're looking about a couple grand there, and then you're back to a special, if you will. But
an actual special, yeah.
But let me see if I can get to the actual CVO. That one is coming with some paint, of course. The specials tend to have their fancy paint, and they're coming with with luggage. They've got side bags, and they've got a trunk bag.
Some lower lighting, huh?
It's got some lower lighting on it. I'm waiting for my 360 view to pull up here. They come only in one color, black, the CVO model. It comes in black trim with the legendary orange paint. So it's a beautiful paint job with the black and orange. Got the old number 1 on the side of the tank. It comes with some crash protection on it, and it comes with the adaptive ride height. So it's basically a special with some paint, luggage,
like a typical CVO.
Yeah, some extra lights. It's a fancier version. I think that this is personally just me. If I was looking to get just one bike and I was sold on the Pan America, depending on what I was doing with it, if I was doing a lot of cross country touring, but I might hit a dirt road here or a gravel road there, I think I would lean probably towards the CVO just because it's set up nicely. But for me, if I'm getting an adventure bike, because I like to tour, so I have a touring bike, I want something a little more dirt oriented, I'd probably go with the special, add the laced wheels, add the adaptive ride height, and not be afraid to beat it up quite as much, because there's a big jump in price. You're looking at about $6,000, because if you were to take
But what if you bought your own luggage and your own crash bars? And
I'm
okay.
So
get to it.
I was trying to
just
get to
messing with you, dude.
So if you buy the special and you add the adaptive ride height and you add the laced wheels, now you're looking at about 22. So it's about $6,000 cheaper. But once you add all the other stuff to it, I still don't think you're going to be as high as 28. But you're going to get close by the time you outfit it. So it just depends. Are you the kind of guy? And I tend to be the kind of guy that wants to get a bike and then make it my own. So I would probably go, well, I know I would. I'd go with the special and I'd put all the bells and whistles on it.
Yep. Some of that price is the paint. You're not going to get the paint with the regular model.
No, you're getting that legendary orange, which always costs you a little bit more.
So, and so we're, talking about, that's why. And so we held we got some other stuff to talk about, but we held the other CVOs to the last part, technically speaking, and that's because it's nothing super different. But that's why I held them, if you wondered.
I figured.
So your regular CVO models, your Road Glide, your Street Glide, and they are exactly what you saw me test ride and review on my YouTube channel in Monterey last year.
Different colors,
yes, as we expect, yes. 121 VVT motor, integrated, new fairings, integrated stuff, upgraded suspension, and all that. So that's why I held them, because there's nothing new with that. Coming in $45,500 base price, as much as $50,000 with upgraded paint.
With that legendary orange paint.
Ooh, $50,000 for a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, guys. So there you go. I know some of you, that's just chump change for you, but whatever. It's a lot, but it's a beautiful bike and something you'd certainly be happy with. It's just always weird to say the 50K mark for a motorcycle, I know.
Can't do it.
That's a lot.
But if you can afford it, everybody's budgets are different, right? There's plenty of people that are like, $50,000 was not a big deal.
Right.
It's just,
I deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm worth $50,000.
If you make enough money and you can afford it, God bless you.
That's right. Send some our way, please. I want one. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest attachable luggage system for your motorcycle, Lurch?
Yeah.
Well, Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. So you can forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint.
Slap your paint.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep. These guys are right. So they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bikes to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. I'd definitely be fitting my new Street Glide 2024 with a Rick Rack system, and I'd be heading out cross country. That's right. Do not forget to get your Rick Rack systems, guys. We got them in stock, ready to go. So here's the deal. If you're looking at this now, what they released today is just the stuff that we're missing from the lineup. They had already released a bunch of stuff on the website. I talked about it in my predictions video. One of the things we're looking at is the limited, the ultra line. Your ultras, your limiteds, all your regular big touring, the trikes. I digress on the trikes, but anyways, your ultra, your limited, all that kind of stuff, guys.
The Road Glide
Limited. Those, no changes. They've been up on the website since early January. We're getting the old fairings. We're getting the regular Milwaukee 8114, right? Nothing has changed about those. And so it brings up an interesting point that me and Lurch talked about.
Yeah, nothing with the trike either. The Road Glide 3 still has the old fairing, and the Tri-Glide Ultra has the old fairing.
Okay, so confirmed. Appreciate you doing that. So you're looking at all those bikes. So everybody's like, well, what's going on? Well, we need to give a little bit of grace here. When you're talking about producing these motorcycles. So my belief is it's a transition year. They had to do this. They're coming out with the Street Glides end of 2023, or the CVOs, Street Glide, Road Glide. They've got the new fairing. They've got some motors with VVT. Now we've got the Road Glide this year without VVT. It's just a lot when they're bringing out. We've chopped some bikes here in the lineup. It is definitely a time of transition here in 2024. They're cutting out some bikes and they're making these new motors, but some of them have VVT and some don't. But I do believe, like I already said, VVT will be next year. And I believe that they couldn't get all the bikes with the new 117, so they had to keep the Ultras the same. I do believe those next year will also, I think everything across the line touring next year, my opinion is they'll all get the new redesigned fairings, the new infotainment system. They'll get a 117 or maybe even a bigger motor by next year, but it'll include the VVT. And then of course the Street Glides or CVOs will get a bigger motor like they always do. So, but I do think it's a weird transition year. What do you say about that, Lurch?
Well, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. It's a lot to switch over in a quick amount of time. So I would anticipate to see that new fairing design and infotainment center throughout the platform next year.
So just, we can get mad about that. It's not worth getting mad about.
It is what it is.
Either get one this year and they're great running bikes, and they're beautiful either way, or wait. I can't guarantee you that they're going to next year. That would just be my prediction. But yeah, that was a lot. It's a lot can you only imagine, the factories and tooling and, they're trying to make this huge transition, which it'll make it easier for them because they're getting rid of some models. And so by next year, I'm thinking that we'll kind of level out, so to speak, and kind of coast on from there. So, yeah. What else, Lurch?
I do think that we may see I'm holding out for a middleweight Pan America.
Yep.
And as you were talking, I was thinking about this. We got the CVO Pan America CVO. We got the CVO or the Pan America Special. They didn't get rid of the standard. Well, they got rid of the standard. So maybe that leaves room for some type of middleweight with a different name.
Yep.
Potentially.
I agree.
We might see that in June, maybe.
Yep.
They like to do a mid-year release.
Yep. Last year.
I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, right. We are hoping for that. I still predict it. And even if it doesn't happen this year, next year, I know in my gut they're working on it. Completely intuition, but they're working on it. And that would be really cool to see. Now, my other prediction that I already made, just real quick, is I believe it's a bold prediction, but I think it's fun, is the Bronx Street Fighter. Maybe this year, maybe next year. I have to also believe, the old Bronx Street Fighter, similar to the FTR, Indian FTR, right?
And that FTR is good looking. It's a hot bike.
It is. We believe, I think Lurch does too, that they're working on that and are going to release that as a direct competitor to the Indian FTR. So the year's not over. You said it. We're probably looking at an icon model or one at least, and an enthusiast collection, maybe like they did last year. So this is just, the start of it for this year, but that's definitely not all we're going to see. So hold out for that. And we'll be obviously covering all of that as much as we can. Now, yes, just to clean up, I am going to Vegas next week, Las Vegas. There'll be a lot of other media down there too. But I will do my best, guys, to, get questions answered. If you do have questions, get over to the video or email us, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. However you want to get a hold of us, try to get your question my way. We're making notes, and when I'm down there, I'll try to cover it for you. Like Bob Dawson commented today, like, make sure you really try to relate how the bike sounds, if it sounds any good. Okay, good. I'll try to cover that and explain, like, it sounds like, last year's bike, or it sounds definitely quieter. They've done something. So those kind of question, guys, I can't think of it all. I try to cover them, like I told you up front, different than most of the other channels, to really give you an inside look and be a little bit more detailed, and critical to a certain extent. Fair and balanced is what I like to say, right? So yeah, throw us your questions your way. You have anything else, Lurch, to clean that up?
I do not.
Okay, guys, thanks for hanging with us. Now, we love our patron members. We want you to become a patron member. We want to get to know you, want in a private Facebook group, want to get you those benefits. But hey, if the only way you want to donate it, you want to support us is through a flat donation, we never buck at a flat donation.
We'd like to thank Raymond Winslow of Erie, Pennsylvania, David Hodling of Warrenton, Virginia, and Edward Rant of East Patoke, New York.
And Matthias Lichenheld of Key Biscayne, Florida, and Ronald Brown of Lewiston, Michigan, Stephen Eggers of Indianola, Indiana. How about that for a tongue twister? lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how you can leave a flat donation. It's on our homepage, a big donate button. Also, a lot of those donations we're announcing are people that leave us a tip in the Law Abiding Biker store after they purchase an item. It's humbling. It's always amazing. It's never expected, always appreciated. You guys over there purchasing in our store and appreciating what we do and give us a tip over there, which comes in the form of a donation, right, Lurch?
Absolutely.
So we're listing some of those. So,
yep.
Yeah, thanks guys so much for being here and listening. We hope it was just a lot of information, and hopefully you can make an educated decision on whether you're going to upgrade here in 2024. We'd love to hear from you. So if you have any comments, of course, we'd love to talk about them on a podcast upcoming if you're upgrading or why you're not, or any points of why not. We would love to hear from you guys. Love the community and hearing from you guys. So yeah, it's been a long frickin' day. Lurch and I are done. Like, we're checking out. Like, the video's out, the podcast, this is going to be going out tomorrow or the next day, and a lot of the promotion's done. We're going to go get dinner. We're going to go to a local place and get dinner and a few beers and just breathe. Just breathe. That's all I want to do right now.
Been fun.
And Lurch is going to have another beer.
I don't know. We'll see. I do want you to think of us while you're down there in Las Vegas in the 70-degree weather, and we're up here in the freezing and snow.
It was snowing today.
It was.
I told Lurch It's going to be like we looked at the weather forecast 10 day. It's supposed to be like 60 down there during the day, 60-ish.
Almost 70.
Almost 70.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand. That's going to be hot for me because my body's so acclimated. We've been like below zero here for the week prior.
We just went through a real cold spell. In fact, the water froze up down at the Law Abiding Biker store. I had to call out the city and they had to thaw the water meter.
Yeah, it has been a cold one here, guys, and so I will enjoy it. But it's going to be a quick bang in your face trip, guys. It's fly down, bam. Next morning, brief, bam, on bikes. Next day, bikes. Next day, bam, flying back. It's going to be one of those, guys. It's a lot of work, but I'm so blessed that I have access. Because I don't care about the reason I care about the access is because I have the access for you guys. That I can get in there, get my hands dirty, figure out what these bikes are all about, and then relay that information to you. So I am very blessed that I get to go, but it is definitely not a vacation. Let me tell you, it is all work and filming, and then when I get back, it'll be a mass rush to get it out to you guys. So, all right, hope you're well. Hope you're getting some riding in. Peace.